Good morning, it's Lisa from Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I want to talk about getting clarity around setbacks. Setbacks are tough, particularly when you're talking about any kind of all-consuming symptom like nerve pain. Today I want to relate to a viewer's question that they wrote, somebody who described their story, and in a nutshell, he suffers with nerve pain. It has been debilitating his life, but he's a fighter, he's a survivor, he got strong, fit, he did all the right things, he lived his life, he went out and traveled, and he managed to have a lot of healing. But then seemingly out of nowhere, all the symptoms flooded back, right? So this can happen to anyone. So if you're not dealing with nerve pain, this is still for you, and you will still get something out of this video. Because when something happens like that, and you get this setback, it's all the same, right? So this person wonders, and he had attributed the fact that his mother came to visit, he started to obsess about his symptoms, get back on pain forums, discuss his symptoms, go back to doctors, focus on them. And he said something interesting was like that his cellular body remembered. It remembered. And it started to produce the very thing that he didn't want to have, right? But it remembered and it just flooded back. I don't know if I particularly agree with that completely, so I'm gonna just put a pin in that and come back to this. Okay. Hi. So the first thing we want to do when we encounter a setback, or the first thing we normally do, is we normally start to panic. Oh no, here it comes. Here it comes. What if it stays forever? What if this is it? What if, right? So the panic sets in and we try for the life of us to figure out what was the cause. And this is normal. This is a normal biological almost reaction. What did I eat? Right? What did I think? What is my lifestyle like? Could it have been a reaction to a food or a medication or a supplement? Am I staying up too late? Am I getting enough sunlight? Am I overdoing the exercise? Am I underdoing the exercise? We go through the litany, and this is good because it's important to rule out any major causes, right? So that is good. So we get our diet on point. We get everything on point. We scale back any supplements that could be suspect. If you're on medication, that is definitely could be a contributor to this. So to that person specifically, I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't know your history, but if you're on medication, the symptoms could likely be coming from that. Anyway, we go through the list. We go through the list and we decide, have I done anything different, right? Can I get back to a baseline? And that's all relevant and good, and that's what you should do. The problem is then when it becomes obsession, it's like a hamster wheel. We've already gone over it. We've already got everything back on point. We've already kind of established that we can't figure out the problem. And then this becomes this hamster wheel of trying to figure it out with no success. And that's when the fight or flight mechanism gets turned on. And that's when we just go around and around and we're trying to solve a Rubik's Cube that can't be solved. This is what gets us into trouble because we start to obsess and we start to feel, oh no, what if this is it? What if I'll never be able to figure this out? I'll never be able to heal. My life is over, right? So that fear does send a message to our body and brains and does start the remembering of our cellular being. And that's when these symptoms often get more out of control, right? Now, I'm just going to come down here for a second because there's quite a few people coming. And when I talk about sensitive subjects, I hate to talk about it with random people who are enjoying a nice morning. Anyway, so let's discuss here for a minute. Okay, so Oh, this is a beautiful spot, isn't it? Okay, so where was I? This is where I differ from people who believe in the law of attraction, who say, you know, what you focus on is what you get, right? What you focus on is what you get. So this poor person believes that because he's talking about it to his mother, because he's searching again for answers, because he's focused on the problem that he literally cannot stop thinking about it because it's all consuming, that he's somehow bad or wrong or causing it to happen, making it worse. And the pressure of that feeling can be so strong that it increases the symptoms even more. So, let me explain. The first thing that I believe we need to do is stop where we are and say, what did I do before? Whatever I used to do, I need to stop that pattern, right? What I used to do was blame myself, betray myself, walk away from myself, cause myself guilt and tell myself I am causing this. I did something wrong. I did something bad. This is my fault because I can't stop thinking about it. And I don't believe that's necessarily true. Because he can't stop thinking about it, he should turn towards it and think about it, okay? Don't fear the thoughts. The thoughts are not the problems. The thoughts bring up feelings and emotions, and those are what we need to focus on. So, okay, so hang on, there's just another person coming. And because of COVID, we have to walk by everybody single file. She's waiting for me to pass. Okay, so let's just take a minute to breathe. Morning. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make here, maybe very badly, but is when we blame ourselves and shame ourselves and guilt ourselves and say, I am doing it wrong. I'm not good enough. If I was better, I would be healed. I'm not supposed to think about it. I'm not supposed to look at it. I'm not supposed to talk about it. Am I creating this? I must be creating this. That is so much pressure. When you have nerve pain, you literally can't not think about it. It is there all over your body. The thoughts are coming. So let's look at the thoughts and say, okay, I am thinking about this. What is it making me feel? Guilty, ashamed, lonely, desperate, confused. What is the root feeling? Sorrow, like total grief, frustration, extreme rage and anger over this. You know, what is the root feeling that is really at the core of what these symptoms are making you feel? And then we meet those feelings head on. And we say, okay, that is the feeling. Then you can go through some of my other videos, and once you have the feeling, you can start to do work around the feeling. If we change the feeling, and if we heal the feeling by going back and calling that feeling to come back to our bodies, right? We've been fragmented, we've been shut down, we've been lost, our inner child has been hurt, and we need to soothe this child. We need to piece back together this fragmented, lost soul, this hurt, abandoned person. So don't do what you always did. Stopping the pattern doesn't mean stopping thinking about it. It means stopping the pattern of all the thoughts and actions that go along with thinking about it. Thinking about it is not the problem. The problem is then what do? You get on the forums, you wallow in your pain, you cry, you complain, you seek information, constant information when you know you already have the information. You look for answers, you look for help, even though you know you are the help, that no one else can save you. These are the changes you need to make. It's what you do with it at this point that changes the pattern not the actual thought itself. So you can think about it and say, I'm going to do something else with the thought now. I'm going to think about the emotion behind the thought. And then I'm going to work on healing that emotion, healing myself. I'm going to go through the list of things that I already know help. I'm going to eat the right foods. I'm going to do the right exercise. I'm going to focus my mind on places that are healthier for me because I choose to, because I want to. We're not guilting ourselves if we can't do it constantly. We're choosing to be different, to break the pattern. So it's kind of different. I mean, when you find yourself reacting and acting in the same way that you used to in regards to the thought and the feeling that you're having, that's the problem, right? Not the actual thinking of it. So you're being presented by the universe with a situation that is familiar, that you don't want again. The setback comes again. And now we have an opportunity to take what we've learned, what we know, and change who we are. So we don't have to be helpless. We can stop seeking. We don't have to fall the way we used to fall. We can change. Going on the forums and seeking help and answers. We can look inside. We can meditate. We can, we can stay with ourselves and not abandon the parts of ourselves that need the most care and the most love. So the problem is when we do the same things, when he goes on the farms, when he goes to the doctor, when he gives his power away to everyone else, he's reacting in the same way he used to react. So his body does remember, oh yes, I'm powerless. Oh yes, I can't do this. I'm not strong enough. He is strong, right? He's an athlete. He's been squatting and lifting. He's strong. He got through this. He traveled. He met his fears. He has the answers. He knows that he is enough, that he is strong enough, right? Why does he go to the doctors? Why does he hand his power back away to the forums, to the people, to his mom? Also, the other question that we could ask is right before the onset of what happened, not only going through the litany of what did I eat, what did I, my lifestyle, my diet, my exercise, my supplements, my medication, whatever, that you're going through the list. Also, what happened psychologically? What happened on an emotional level? Either a month, 2, 3 months. What happened in that time period before the onset? He did mention his mother came to visit. Maybe the feelings of whatever happened or the past or the history between him and his mother came up. What unhealed did he feel again like a child back in his old patterns, right? Was this contributing to it? Did something else happen in his life? Did he break up with somebody, lose somebody? Did something happen? COVID happened. I mean, what has happened to trigger insecurities, doubts, fears, old patterns and behaviors, these old patterns, these old feelings? What has resurfaced? So we always want to look at what was going on, right? And then we look inward. What do we know? What do we know to be true? What are the best things for me to eat? We listen to ourselves, not the diet experts. We listen to ourselves. What are the best things for my body? We listen to our lifestyle, when we're exercising. How much exercise should I or shouldn't I do? We listen to our own body, right? And we don't let ourselves be shamed or guilted for not being able to create with the power of our thought the life that we want by only thinking positive feelings and focusing on this amazing future. If you can't focus on it, there is a reason. Stop guilting and shaming yourself. You're doing the best you can. Don't beat yourself up more. Don't be your own worst critic. Don't hate yourself. Self-hate and abandonment is one of the worst things that you can do to yourself in a setback. So I don't know if I had the magic answer as to why setbacks come. I don't know. Could it be something physical happening? Could it be something emotional triggering? Could it be old patterns? Could it be thoughts? You know, what is happening? I don't know. These happen to me and they're terrible. Setbacks come rushing in seemingly out of nowhere. But I know that when I start to get caught up in that whirlwind of all the old patterns, trying to figure it out, trying to do this, trying to do that, beating myself up, constantly, you know, falling into the victim trap, the whole thing, that's where I can take my power back and say, no, I'm going to make a new choice. I'm going to trust during this setback. I'm going to detach. I'm going to go in. I'm going to sit with myself. I'm going to love myself, right? There's all these patterns of behavior when this happens that you can address and that you can change, that you really can change, right? You can begin to know yourself in these setbacks deeper. And they suck and they're horrible. And I know you just want to fall to pieces and cry and scream, why God, me? But try to imagine that this is a gift being sent to you from the universe so that you can finally change, right? Not just change what you eat, not just change what you do, not just change what you think, but change who you are. Change how you relate to this hopeless situation placed in front of you. Who do you become when this setback takes over your life? Who are you now? Who are you now that you know? Who can you be? What is the best version of yourself that you can be in this setback? And how can you be truest to that person's thoughts and feelings? We're not trying to disown anything. Nothing is wrong to think or feel. We're not trying to change it in any way. This is unconditional support and love. How can you show up for yourself? The truest, how can you listen to your truest needs, to your truest feelings? And then how can you turn around and take action to meet those needs, to soothe yourself, to give yourself what you crave the most, what you're begging for? So I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you've taken any kind of wisdom from it. I know it's hard. I know there's no words. But during these times when there's no words the most, when hopelessness sets in the deepest, are truly the gifts on which we can change, right? On which we can take back, become new, grow again, all that crap. You know what I'm saying here, right? These are the moments that can define you, they can make you, or they can break you. Trust that it will pass. Trust that you have the answers. Trust that you will get through it. Honor yourself, honor your feelings, honor your own needs, your wants. Honor that little person, that huge soul inside you. Let it guide you and fill it with everything it could possibly need and want during this time. I hope this has been helpful.